Friday, 27th of October 1933. My name is Dr. Richard Spencer, and I have been assigned to head up the expedition to Grey Island, a small island just off the southwest coast of Cornwall. Others I have recruited for this expedition include Dr. Francis Goldman, Dr. Pierre Devereux, Dr. Ernest Cartwright, and against the protests of my associates at the university, Miss Violet Lowe. With us is one of the university's primary benefactors, Mr. Alexander Worthy, along with a number of labourers under his employ, although I did make sure he hired old Bob Morrison. The man may not have much of an education, but he's proven his worth on a dig site multiple times. Grey Island. It is easy to see how this island earned its moniker. It's positively grim. Not much grows here, and what does is withered and near lifeless. There's no sign of any wildlife either, which is no surprise. I doubt anything could gain much sustenance from the local flora. To top it all off, the sky above us has been a cast iron grey since shortly before we made landfall. Which makes it all the more surprising that such an immense archaeological discovery should be made here. Previous evidence suggested that all attempts by man to settle this island have failed. Records show that the Romans and the Normans both briefly tried but quickly gave it up as a lost cause. However, a stone structure has been discovered on the island. Not something like Stonehenge or anything of that sort, but something seemingly more complex, something akin to an actual building. In addition to the remoteness of the island, the reason this went undiscovered for so long is because, from the initial reports, it seems to be partially subterranean. If the initial reports are to be believed, well, it's simply remarkable to think that such a thing could have been hidden right beneath our noses. Nothing like this has ever been discovered in the British Isles before. Oh, I cannot wait to see it for myself. This is Dr. Richard Spencer. Miss Violet, Dr. Devereux and I went to the ruins to perform an initial assessment, and it's beyond anything I imagined. It's not Roman, it's definitely not Roman, nor does it bear any iconography that could link it to the Celts or the Anglo-Saxons or even the North. Not that any of those groups were known for building such immense stone structures. And immense is the best way to describe it. We've only explored a small part of what one might call the first floor, and already it gives the impression that there's much more to discover. It certainly rivals even the most impressive Roman villa in terms of size. Of course, with it all being buried underground, it's hard to tell. No natural light penetrates the place, which means we had only what light we could bring with us. Upon approaching the site, the only evidence of something being present is a small mound, not unlike the Anglo-Saxon burial mounds, although larger in scale. However, recent digging has unearthed a staircase that is about 20 feet across and descends about 12 feet, ending at a pair of large stone doors. The doors were heavy and it took some doing, but we were eventually able to prise them open just enough to slip inside. The atmosphere inside the place is oppressive. The lack of light combined with the stale air makes it feel quite dreary. We did, however, discover another staircase leading further down, indicating that the place had at least one more level to it. Dr. Devereux did voice the opinion that the place might actually predate the Roman occupation of Britain. It's impossible to say for certain right now, but I can't yet rule out the possibility either, and that is exciting. I personally hope he's right. Imagine it, a building of this scale and complexity that predates the Romans. It would be one of the greatest finds in British archaeological history, and certainly the greatest find within Britain itself, an ancient civilization of which we have no prior knowledge. We abandoned this preliminary excursion when Miss Violet began to feel unwell. Dr. Devereux too began to complain of headaches, and I must admit I too began to feel somewhat nauseous before long. I can only assume that the old stale air within the ruins is hazardous to the health. We will have to be cautious going forward. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. Fortunately, time is something we have in ample supply. Given the potential significance of this discovery, the university has allocated me and my team a truly generous budget, along with a lengthy timetable. They still wish to receive regular reports, of course, but they wish for a thorough report, not something haphazard and sloppy in the name of immediate results. Tomorrow I will discuss the health concerns with Dr. Cartwright, then the team and I can begin to form a plan of attack. Oh, I can't wait to see what secrets we uncover here.